Hey everyone, hi. This is Chuck again, coming to you again with another talk on the exciting basketball game that happened last night between the Detroit Pistons and the 76ers. Now, if you was like me, what a game last night. But let's just jump right into it. First of all, I got 3 points. First point, Blake Griffin. He's a beast. The boy just turned the game inside out. He's a leader. He's a much better player. I was listening to the talk with Greg Kessler and Grant at the end of the game, and how Greg Kessler made a comment that Blake Griffin is a better player now than he was back in even 2011. We know the last few years he's been injured, but he came into this summer fully healthy, able to practice, and he worked on his game. He's a facilitator. He gets other players involved. He makes other players better, and he is a born leader. Did you see his eyes last night? As he was the intensity in his face as he was bringing the ball up. The boy just wanted the game, and that's what the Pistons has been lacking for the last few years. I would say that even the last 10 years, they just have not had that hunger. Point number two was his other players that was around him. Both the Reggies had great game. I like Reggie Jackson. Again, health is a very important part. But you know what I like about what Dwayne Casey is doing with Reggie Jackson is he's taking him off the ball. So we don't have that Jackson holding the ball out, dribbling the clock down. You got 24 seconds. Next thing you know, he didn't dribble it down to 8 seconds, and then he's just trying to take over the game. I like him off the ball. I like Ish Smith in there. Ish Smith's jumper has gotten much, much better, and I like Reggie Bullock. Of course, it's all comes about with Blake Griffin, because Blake Griffin makes all of them a much better player. I like Bullock at the shooting guard, but I like that lineup they had at the end of the game, where they had Reggie Bullock as small forward. He's big enough to guard forwards, but what I like about Reggie Bullock, what I don't like about Stanley Johnson, and that's another talk in itself, is Reggie Bullock is very good with moving without the ball. Matter of fact, if you look at that last play when Griffin drove to the basket, if you look at Philadelphia, the defense was kind of broke down, but Blake, when he made the fake, who you think he faked the ball to? He faked it to Reggie Bullock, and then he took the ball in. So even if they would have crowded on him, he would have gave it to Bullock. Bullock would have had the wide open jumper. That's something you can't even trust Stanley Johnson with. Your boy Ish Smith, I agree with like Isaiah Thomas said. The guy done got a jump shot now. He's a three-pointer, and his speed, it just changes the whole game. And let's not forget about Jaja Pachulia. He came in and did a wonderful job. He came in, took over for Andre Drummond, and he didn't back down on Joel B. I mean, even if you see when they did the jump tip at the start of the overtime, they was mouthing, but Pachulia, he was right up in his face. Now, the third point is Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond's got to get his head in the game. Andre Drummond, I think, can be a good player. He's got a stud in Blake Griffin around him, so he's going to get his point, but Andre Drummond is not no Joel B. Joel B made a comment and said he's got real estate in Dre's head, and who knows, maybe he does. But Dre has got to realize when he plays against a Joel B, he plays against a cousin, he plays against Anthony Davis, is that it's not about him against them. They are better offensive players. He's got to play his game. He's got to play team ball. And Blake is going to get in the ball. Andre is 14, 15 points a game, but he needs to rebound. He needs to get, especially on the offensive board, putbacks, and he needs to go in strong. And if Blake drops it down there, you got two men on, you go up and dunk the ball. Don't go up and try to finger roll it. Forget all this trying to do a hook shot. And as far, I ain't going to even mention about the three-pointers. I mean, it is what it is. If he hits one, great. But I need him to be down in the paint. He needs to get that same intensity that Blake Griffin is bringing to the Pistons. Blake Griffin is showing them leadership. And I like that Dwayne Casey is putting the ball in this court. I like the intensity that brother is having. Like Greg said, way better player than he was back in 2000. You know, they just, I know Mike Valente made a comment that, you know, he can't out jump anybody or anything like that. Well, okay, in the 2011 or 2012 slam dunk contest, yeah, he jumped over a car and dunked the ball. We're not looking for that Blake Griffin now. We're looking for the Blake Griffin now that's a complete ball player, shoot the threes, can back a person down, and when people crowd in on him, can facilitate, get other guys involved. That's where Reggie Jackson comes in, can hit the jumper. Well, enough of that. I'm excited for this season. We're going to see where the Pistons are going to go. Really no test tomorrow night. They play Cleveland. Another test coming up Saturday. They're going to play Boston Saturday, and I think they come back and play Boston in Boston on Tuesday. So we will see what happens as far as with those games where it's going to determine the Pistons. Remember, it's still early, 3-0. And none of the publications or anything, they're not really talking about. I mean, today I was looking at ESPN and some of them on there, and they was, kind of talking about the Pistons because Blake Griffin dropped 50 points. But you ain't going to hear too much Piston talk from them. We're the ones that's got to keep cheering the Pistons on and uplifting the Pistons and holding them accountable. That's what I like about Blake Griffin. You looked at the intensity in that brother's eyes. That brother means business when he's out there on the court. As always, this is Chuck from C&E, Just Let It Be. And I'll come back with you again. See ya.